Hello everyone, it is Mary. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to play with Darcy Stamp's Yeti to Party. This set is adorable. It's got a bear, like a polar bear, and then this cute Yeti. And we are going to make a window shaker card. So let's get started. Here is the stamp set, and I'm going to be using the tree from the other set, and then I'll put what that is below. But then I'm going to be using the Yeti from this one. First, I'm going to stamp out my tree. It's a cute, tiny little tree, which I needed it to be for scale because the Yeti has to be huge, right? He's a snow monster. So I had to pick this cute little tree, and I'm going to mask that out real quick because I have to mask it in the actual picture. So you see 4 hands. This is Adia helping me out here. I'm teaching her how to mask. And so I'm kind of explaining how we're doing things and why we're doing things. And so that's kind of what you see the instruction happening there. So if you notice on her left knuckle there, covered in ink, and my finger is covered in ink. I don't know what we were doing, but apparently we were having fun because that's how you know. If your fingers are inky, it's fun. Right now I am showing her how we want to lay out this Yeti because we kind of want him peeking around the tree. And so that's why he's at a serious angle there. Okay, so we get that out, we pull the mask off, and we're gonna get to color in this image. But before we do that, because I am gonna be using some Arteza markers, the real brush pens, I'm gonna be heat embossing this with clear embossing powder. And I wanna make sure that I don't have powder where I'm gonna be coloring because then it's gonna resist it. So we make sure that's all clean and good to go. Cutting that down with a Lawn Fawn rectangle stitch die, and now we are going to get ready to do the window. So I just pulled out some wood grain type cardstock you can see on the right hand side there that I had in my stash, and I used a window die that I had and put that aside once that's all ready to go. Okay, so here we start with our coloring. This is very simple coloring. I actually pulled out for the tree just some greens, simple. I'm going to color in the ornaments with some stickles or some Nouveau drops, and so I leave that as white as I can, like open and not colored as much as I can. But it's hard because this tree image is very tight, and so you're using a little bit of water, and so it's hard not to get a little bit on there. But if you use a dark opaque Nouveau drop, then you pretty much don't have to worry about covering it, so no big deal there. When I get the tree done, I don't really need to worry too much about that pot at the bottom because that's going to be covered by the window, but I am going to pull out the stamp set again, and one thing I love about Darcy's is they color the image for you a little bit so you can kind of have an idea. You don't have to follow it exactly, but it helped in this situation because I couldn't think of, well, Yetis don't really exist. So I guess I could have Googled Yeti cartoon and gotten it. But I just used what was on there. So a very light blue, ice blue for the tummy and the face and the little feet. And then again, don't really have to worry about the feet, they'll be covered. But then I used a very light gray to do a little bit of shading around the Yeti so it wasn't just stark white on the paper. And that really breaks up the image and helps it look a lot more real, not realistic, but with, you know, depth to it. I don't want my images to be too flat. So I get that colored in. Now I'm going to be using this heat embossable acetate, and that means that it won't melt on you and crumble to pieces. I have used non-embossable acetate before, and that has ruined a project. And not only did I use non-embossable, I used it after I put my card together. So that was a double whammy no-no. Okay, so I am going to be cutting this down and just getting it situated. I pulled out some 1/8 score tape, and now I made this card twice, and I'll explain why near the end. I made this card twice, and the second time I made my window a lot thicker, and not so much the inside because I really didn't have any control over that, but the outsides, the outside edges of all 4 sides. Like I said, the inside, the window's going to cut what it's going to cut because it is a window die, but the outside, so that was so much easier with the foam tape and the adhesive. So I would recommend that. Don't cut this down so thin because it's really more difficult. So I did use some really thin score tape, put down my acetate. And then I'm going to be using some my anti-static powder tool on acetate. You want to do that because acetate and powder, they'll stick together really, really well. So if you use the powder bag, it'll get rid of a lot of that. Now this looks messy, but once you flick off, the powder just falls right off of where it's not supposed to be. And then I'm going to heat set this. So I would recommend also, if you don't have the white embossing powder, or an alternative to that is some sparkly clear embossing powder. I think that would be fun because I think that looks frosty as well. So either one is fine. So I'm going to put another coat on there because I didn't like exactly how that turned out. This can be messy, that's okay. I don't think that the snow forming in the windows is perfect every time. So have fun with it. That was pretty easy to do. Alright, so I'm happy with the way that my window looks so far. And now I'm going to do a little bit of coloring on the background because this card is as if we're looking from the inside of the home to the outside. So we look outside, we see a Yeti and his tree, trying to hide behind the tree, being stealth-like. It's not quite working because he's huge. But I have some tumble glass and faded jeans, and I'm just going to make a little bit of a sky. Not really night sky, just the sky. Once I get that done, and I'm happy with the blending, and I am using Bristol Smooth cardstock, by the way, because I like to color with real brush pens, and I like to ink blend with Distress Oxides on Bristol Smooth. I'm going to use some of this Hero Arts iridescent watercolor paint that I have diluted with some water, and I am just going to spritz that all over. You've heard me say this before if you watch my videos, but I like that it gives me the Distress Oxide droplet look, but it also leaves behind some shimmer. So that makes me really happy. So I'm going to continue and just get as much as I want on there. I'm going to pick that up with a paper towel or my microfiber, but you can see how much shimmer you get from that iridescent. And again, once you kind of pick it up, it's still there. So even if you have to pick it up and dry, if you can let it air dry, that's all the better. So I put down some double foam tape here, and I spared you from that. But then I'm going to, and it's not sticky yet because I'm trying to see how much do I need to cut off around the outside here. So I haven't stuck it down yet. But I get that middle piece there because I do want to separate the windows. I don't want all of the shaker bits to fall right down to the bottom. So I'm going to stop it with that extra bit of foam tape across the center. I'm going to fill up my shaker window, and I'm going to use some stars, some beads, some white sequins, like really big white sequins, almost looks like snow, and I'm just going to fill that all up. So I'm happy with my, then I'm going to attach it, and I'm going to put this right down here. Okay, so I flipped that over, and instantly I felt tears coming to my eyes. Could anyone guess why? Wait for it. So I'm putting together my card on another piece of pattern card stock here on the back. It almost looks like snowy background, and my sentiment, so we're good to go there. But I'm looking at it, and I'm just really upset. I have to tell you, not much upsets me, but there was no redoing this card, and I made a crucial error. And all of you are probably sitting there going, yeah, I know what you did. I know exactly what you forgot, Mary. You forgot to color the ornaments on the tree. Not only was I messy with my Arteza marker because I was going to go back and put Nuvo drops in, I didn't. This is what I intended it for it to look like right here. This is the picture. And so I redid the entire card, and all I kept thinking as I'm staring at this card that I forgot to color the ornament and the tinsel was that scene from The Wedding Planner with Jennifer Lopez when, I'll leave out the explicitive, but when she said, I am a professional. And that's exactly how I felt. I said, I have to redo this card. I have to. It was just eating me up inside. I know you all don't care, but for me, I really wanted to have that tree sparkle with the red ruby slippers Nuvo drops. Okay, enough of that. Thank you so much for stopping by and for hanging out with me. I so appreciate it. I so appreciate all your comments and your encouragement. I will list everything I used below. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to follow me on other forums, Instagram, Facebook, And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.